Hi, 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 test, 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 test. Hi, 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 test, 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 hi, hi, hi. Welcome back. I can't remember the last time we had a speaking stream. Hi, 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 test, 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 hi, hi, hi. Looks like everything is working, which is always a good sign. It is indeed a mic stream. Discord bot's working. Love to see it. Well, it's weird. I class the streams I do as two streams. The ones that are speaking and the ones where it's just silence. So we'll do some Submerged in a bit. Firstly, we are going to try to add the correct texture for ceramic buckets and the resource fish. So here is the response. So I asked the ceramic buckets dev what is the best way of doing this, basically. I had a link to a developer guide, and then there was this message at the end. If it is only one entity type, which it is, it could be really difficult to add all the different textures of this one entity type. So, yeah. It could be a long one. Oh, I missed everyone. Listen, at this point, we know everything's going to be painful. And then, as I say, maybe we'll do... I've got Submerged in the title, so we can have a look at a little bit at Submerged. There's a few little bugs to take a look at. What version of the pack? Let's see. Hang on, 2 seconds. Just try to respond to a crash report. Well, we've only just done it actually for the normal buckets anyway. What we are doing... Where is the bucket? We have the base bucket texture, and then we have layer 1, and then we have layer 2. So layer 1 and layer 2 use client events, register color item handlers. So the base is no tint, and then the second part and the first and second layer, I guess, are the pattern and the main color defined in the fish JSON. I had a great Christmas, yeah. It was really good. I hope you all had a good Christmas as well. I don't know if we need this. We'll just delete that. So the texture of your bucket contents, block, and entities must be placed in the following directory: assets, your mod, textures, item, bucket, ID of content. Example, your mod with the ID epic mod adds a new block with the ID epic mod quicksand. Your texture should be placed in assets, epic mod, textures, item, bucket, content, quicksand. See. So we could start simple then. So assets, your mod, textures, item, bucket, contents. And then just a PNG. I guess it would be the ID. So I guess it would just be resource fish. Maybe that. Let's take a look. How on earth do you have ads with the amount of subs you gifted? Did you not even get it yourself? Well, hopefully you let me know when you're back. Well, that actually did work. Bucket of resource fish. How many minutes of ads do I actually play? I haven't touched the settings for ages. Get rewards by purchasing or gifting subscriptions in then large channel, and they're live in Minecraft. Not sure why it's telling me to subscribe to my own channel. Yeah, as I say, how are you getting ads when you've like done so many gifted subs? That's what I don't understand. Welcome, welcome. Right, so the texture did work. That's unbelievable. That's crazy. You're probably like one of the only people that watch this stream that hasn't got a sub because you subbed so many times. If we open that up, save that. Just wait till January. I'm excited. So if we do that now, technically that should show the fish. I guess it would need to add water as well, though. Probably need to get a water texture somewhere. We could just see what this looks like first. I assume it's not going to add the water texture part. No. So what we need to do is find these textures here then. Thanks for stopping by. Have fun at work. So we're looking for I'm guessing they save it the same way. Yeah, so we need to steal this bit here. Pretty sure if we do that, that'll work. After we do that. That should give us the bucket texture. Which it does. Question is, how far do we take it? Because ideally we would like it to show the right color. Because the issue is going to be the name as well. I think we might just have to leave it as that. I don't actually know how we would do it. Because I'm guessing most of the mods that support this have their own what's it called? Their own like entities for everything. What is unusual fish? Yeah, it looks like a lot of the mods use their own entities. This is where it gets tricky. I mean, we could. Maybe do that and re-enable the color texture part, but I don't think this will work. It might work, it depends on how the layers are. The trouble is, I don't know if the bucket will have this data on it, because it could be saved inside another piece of data. If it tints any part of it, then no. This doesn't even trigger. Actually, would it trigger? I don't know if it would, to be fair, because it might already be loaded. Yeah, I think that's as good as it's going to get. Yeah, I think that's the best we're going to be able to do here. And then we'll just push the chain. And publish. Apparently the Submerged server's crashed. Or crashing. Routers block entity. Routers. Oh my god. I want to look at this version. Wait, why is this not giving me the right version? It's gonna be not gonna work with it. Why is the main branch become 1.21? 1.21.11? when it's clearly not on GitHub. I hate GitHub sometimes. I hate IntelliJ actually, to be fair. Why? This is nothing. This is nothing like the actual 1.21.1. It wants to comment all this, but I don't want to comment all this. This goes on to the main branch, we're in trouble. No, it didn't. Check out. Workspace Socio branch master has been restored. Was it doing it now? Yes. Okay, fine. Right. So the crash with routers is something to do with the expand filters method. Line 996, which is there. What do we think's happened? Do we think they put in an invalid filter? Try to fix a crash with routers. I mean, I guess we can see if we can crash it. That is the correct tag. That doesn't crash. Filter is empty. I guess we could maybe add a null check there. Something like that. Maybe that will work. So, routers. We build this version. Wait, is it this one? It's a very strange bug because it should never be null. say maybe just checking if the filter's null might work. The server definitely crashed as I saw it. What line did it crash this time? 996 again. Which is this. Oh wait, I didn't actually do the check. I'm checking the level, not the tag. But this is always false. Checks that require non-null. Let's try again. The music should duck out of the voice range. I can turn it down a little bit, see if that's any better. Maybe that, is that better? Players join the game. Don't know if it crashed that time. Maybe that fixed it? Even though IntelliJ says it cannot be null, apparently it can be. Just did that. Hey, hey. that is that. Now we can do submerged. Yeah, that's fair enough. As I say, it's really hard to judge what it's actually doing because the bars on my OBS just don't make any sense. Like right now, I'm apparently my voice is in the yellow and the music is barely touching the green. Um, what with the routers mod? We just added a null check for the component on the router, on the item. Even though it shouldn't have it because it should always have that component there because it's built with that component. So I don't know how it became null, but apparently somewhere along the line it did. And it was crashing the server. It's where it's good when you have a lot of your own mods in a pack because you can fix an issue like that on the fly. So the server that would have been completely bricked until we could fix it is now up and running again. So now we want to actually do submerged, I think. Actually, did I publish it? Try and publish it again. Close that now. Visual Studio Code. Changelog. D 5.0. Throw that in there. Visual Studio Code's a bit of a funny one anyway. For mod packs I use this, and then for mods it's IntelliJ. And I don't know if you saw a minute ago, but changing the versioning of routers, because I'm trying to work on the 1.21.11 version. And it wouldn't let me actually go back to 1.21.1, and it's just a whole thing. I'll just do that. As I said, the resource fish is not I'd like to do something better with the ceramic bucket, but I don't think we can really do that. Mainly because of the way I'm doing entities. Seems like there was an issue in the past of this mod, but the workaround no longer works. Halts false craft progression and treasure. Force rod, infusing healing not working. I don't know what that means. I have no clue what that means. Clay and sand fish percentages are wrong. Here we go. What's this? Playing on the official server, one other player and I cannot breed sandfish. The other player spoke up and said they had no problem. I don't know why it affects just two of us. Or the two of us having a problem with blah 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 blah. I decided to quick test some 6 score fish food. The tank contained 1 water fish, 1 dirt fish. Every time the clay fish would be born, it would kill it. Expected results 12.8 clayfish, 32 sandfish, 19.2 bones. Actual results 10 clayfish, 0 sandfish, 54 bones. I don't have a strong understanding how to code it, but looks like the bug might be in line 270 of the caviar processing block entity. No. That handles caviar, doesn't handle the fish. Let's see if we can replicate this. The problem might actually be that the clayfish... Does the clayfish and the sandfish have the same recipe? Because they shouldn't. So the clayfish uses dirt and water. And the sandfish uses dirt and water. I can talk indeed. Where did you learn to make mods, or are you self-taught? Kind of both. So I always recommend Captain Joe on YouTube. Which is there. They do amazing tutorials on Minecraft modding. But it's always good to have a good Java base for this as well. But I think he has tutorials for Java as well. But he'll teach you the basics. If you want to go into silly things like stuff like this, the fish stuff is... You don't get taught how to do that. That's self-taught. But the base of like adding items, adding blocks, like machines and stuff. Yeah, then you've already got a huge head start on it. I wonder if we should add something into the resource fish data gen that warns us if we have fish that have the same recipe. Because there's a couple of times this has come up. How does this fish buff craft a new fish? I can show you. Do you mean like on the coding side, or do you mean as a player? So in game, maybe not. Hey. So that's your tank. So your tank goes down like that. And if you shift right click, you get an area that it's working in, which you can make bigger or smaller or whatever. And then say you want a snowfish. So JI says you need a water fish and a white resource fish. And then you need basic fish food. Which goes in here. And then this is a breeding recipe, so you need a breeding upgrade. Which goes in there. And then it will start to craft. If you look at the recipe, you can see it's only a 20% chance. So if it fails, you get bones. Or apparently you get a whitefish. Oh no, that is. They look very similar. But yeah, that's how that's how you breed fish. You could also do infusing, which is basically just convert fish into whatever. But again, that has a failure rate as well. Like stone is always successful. So if I put in 3 stacks of stone with the infusing upgrade, it will water fish into a stonefish, which it did. In that case, you can have multiple possible outputs and give foul on all of them if it gives bones. How do you mean? Do you mean if there was the same recipes for different the different types of fish? You can do that, but I have gone against that. Mainly because it would mean you have to keep a list of recipes that are valid. Whereas it's easier just to cache one. I mean, all the fish recipes should have different recipes anyway. As I say, the problem we have with the sand and the clay is it's the same recipe. Yeah, the actual infusing comes a lot later. Obviously, you got the breeding upgrade comes earlier. I'll actually remember it's around here. I can't remember where it is, but yeah, infusing comes later. But you can breed up to them. As I say, I think we need to try see if we can make a way of detecting if we've used the same recipe twice. Right. So how are we going to do this? I don't know how we're going to detect this. Fish infusing risk. Depends. I actually don't know the answer. You have... I don't know what the biggest is. I guess you could do... That would be pretty big. I mean, that's pretty big. The idea of it is to be basically however size you want, I guess. I mean, you got space of 359. 16 by 16 by 16 apparently. I guess that makes sense. 2 of the range and 2 of the depth. A lot of fish. I think for... It's quite scary because there's a lot of mods we've made for 1.21. And there's a lot of improvements I can see in all of them. And I think for resource fish, we'll probably rework the tank system a little bit. I mean, you can. You can turn the whole room into one if you want. It just won't be very efficient. So we need to change the clay fish one. So dirt and water to make clay makes sense. Unless we did... what would we change that to? Yeah, fish are really, really annoying. I say, again, in the future, I think we'd probably... I like the idea of the tanks for breeding. But then maybe for... like the actual obtainment of the resources. It could be like a just a single block with a fish in it, maybe. Then having the... This is quite cool. I don't think I've seen a mod do something like this. Where, like... It just works, do you know what I mean? I'm always trying to do something a little different to what other people are doing. I think we'll just turn the clay one into dirt and light grey. Run data on that quickly. If there is a water fish, then a sand, and a water fish to make clay. Oh, you're saying use sand and water to make clay instead? To be fair, it probably does make a bit more sense. so we change it here then to sand and water. A bit scared of having 1,000 fish at a base. Also kind of hard to find specific fish in a tank with hundreds of fish. Yeah, see, that's another thing. The actual, like the GUI we have for the tank is not exactly what I wanted it to be. To use sand. I hope we haven't used this combination anywhere else. No, we haven't. Yeah, the actual idea was to there's going to be a GUI where the left side is. I was going to have like a scroll bar with a search bar, and then the little fish icons. So these would show like in here, and then you'd be able to search for, say, water fish, and then you'd be able to grab a bucket of water and click on that fish to take it out. So you'd be able to easily do it, and I think that's what I would want to do in the future, because it is horrible to try and get the fish out of the tanks. Change favors use sand instead of water. Is it? But yeah, a lot of this stuff will not be for 1.21. It will be for the 26. 26.1 or whatever it's called. Dirt and water. Just sand instead of water. There we go, we'll do that. The water that we make as fuel before coal in the smeltery, I was going to suggest being able to make use mini charcoal. The reason why it's not mini charcoal is because I wanted it to be gated behind coal. That is the reason. Because I have to be honest, coal doesn't really have a lot of uses. Publishes a Curse Forge. So let's reply to this bug. Changed. Change recipe for the clayfish is now unique. Give it a big tick. Give that one a tick as well. Close and close. Welcome back. I don't know how to actually view when the ads start. To be fair, I think in the new year I want to change how we're doing the streaming anyway. Right, so we've ticked all that off. Now what we can do is go back to this. Yeah, I know there is a way as a creator you can see when they're about to start. We just did that. We'll tick this one as well. Close. Quest states to kill and end a dragon with the headed sword to get a dragon head. I did so, no dragon head. Let's see. Oh, the head definitely dropped there. Yep, I've got the head. Yeah, I mean, I know I know it's set up for something, but I just haven't checked it for so long. Right, so I don't see why that didn't work for them. Duck missing. When you try and click the duck from the animal into the base, it sometimes just disappears. Maybe it's not the casting one. I don't know what other beheading there is. Oh, maybe the Ender Sword? You can't even get that though. Oh, this item is currently going to use to get more pets. It's beheading on casting is true or false. If it's true, it always drops the head. And there's a whole thing for it. And the dragon drops, dragon head. And then you just add to this. That's basically how it works. But yeah, if you've got the head in, you always get the head. Seems to work fine for me. I mean, you can't even make this, so I wouldn't have thought that that was a... It was that. Eddie works. Eddie could work. Oh, the duck, is that what I mean? The duck reward? Yeah, so casting actually works with anything. That's what separates it from other, like, modifying mods. You could literally add any modifier to any tool and have it work how you want it to, basically. Like, if I give myself a... I don't know. A stick. Nah, it's got torch replacement. Teleporting. But there's loads of modifiers. And then you add it to... Where is it? Custom modifier sets. And obviously that's where you get... So the meshes aren't default by casting, they're added by the mod pack. But that's how that works. But that's the whole point of casting, is to be as modifiable for the mod pack creators and users as you want it to be. And it supports like Paxels and stuff out of the box. Every time I insert a tier 4 storage module into the storage menu interface from RTools, it brings up an error message that sends it back to the main menu. This is another really fun side of pack dev, when you can't replicate half the bugs that are reported. It's possible. I do think we're gonna. So I know all the mods use it, and I don't know if FTB does yet or not. But there's a mod called. Let me check if it's in Feed the Beast. Yeah, Crash Assistant, which basically gives you all that information. Obviously, so we do some of it with BBL Core. So if you look at our crash reports, how have I not got crash report? Right, if we force crash the game, like that, you could see right at the bottom here we have the mod pack information. So this crash is from Submerged, blah blah blah. So and then the Benzit helper bot reads that crash report, and you've probably seen it in action today, where we had a player that couldn't connect to the server. We asked them to submit the crash report, and it turns out that they were on the wrong version of the pack. It's just called Crash Assistant by Costo Dan. You could basically, I don't 100% know how to use it, which is why I haven't implemented it yet, which may come later in other packs. But it can tell you if a client's been modified, which is pretty good. And it produces like a proper crash report, and it's good. And it says like mod list changes, added mods, essential, blackout, resource pack. So it detects everything, which is pretty good. But as I say, I haven't used it properly yet. But I think for the future packs, I want to have like a base set of mods as well that are in all the packs. Like we have that anyway with like core and stuff. But I feel like a bunch of the core stuff should be separated into its own mod pack, like utility thing. Yeah, I think that it would be better to do that, separate out. Plus, it makes it easier for people to actually report bugs. Iron Key has no use. That does sound about right, to be fair. Add in advanced AE for Submerged too. I think there was a reason we didn't add this. Yeah, I think the reason we didn't add this is because it was too far away from what refined storage could do. Yeah, that's the other side of it. I don't want it to become like it sounds silly, but I want to see every crash myself. I want to see what's actually going on, and that's why. So I can tell you actually. I could probably find it. If we go GitHub, organizations, BBL team, repositories, Discord bot, configs? Known crash logs? Yeah, so we actually have a bunch of stuff that we could detect from crashes anyway. So we've got out of memory, we've got issues when there's a block entity in a certain place, watchdog handlers, null point exceptions, excavators mod. Like, we've got loads of like missed ones. So we do actually detect quite a lot. Yeah, I guess older mods does have a lot of mods though. That's mainly where I see it, inside the older mods Discord. I like the idea that it could tell you what's been changed. But I haven't looked into it enough to really make like a definitive choice on it yet. Again, as I say, I kind of want to see every bug and issue myself. Or at least have the bot see it. Yeah, so we actually have a fix for that as well. But again, this is why I want to move it into so it's part of BBL core. In here? Nope. Start. Save the world. Because the crash report will point to a set of coordinates where the block entity like crashing out. Usually the only way to fix that is to go into like the level.dat and MBTs and all this stuff to remove the block. But inside core you can literally input the block positions here, set this to true, run your world, and it removes that block, and then just turn it off again. And this has actually saved a couple of people's worlds that I know of, so it's better than sending off the level data to someone and then fixing it and then them send it back and then waiting for it to be confirmed that it's fixed or not. This will just fix it, with the sacrifice being that you lose the block. Yeah, that's the idea. The idea is that it is actually a useful mod outside of what we do. It's nice to see mods like routers getting some spotlight. But BBL Core itself does a lot. So it fixes beds. So in other dimensions, say you have a day and night cycle, you can't actually sleep to the next day. It only works in the overworld, so we fixed that. We fixed you get like I think it's a black bar if you drop below a certain height. We fixed that. We changed the Nether portal from being hard-coded from obsidian to a tag, which means you can make it for any block. We just do a bunch of stuff. Any block can be climbable via a tag. We have void protection. Obviously save the world, which is really good. All the official server stuff, so that's why how you get the server in the main menu is through BBL Core. The mod pack name is / mod pack command. Wait, did I never put the ID in for Submerged? Guess we'll put that in there then. Beheading also works for me too. Kills 2 heads. Yeah, it there's no reason why it shouldn't work. So I can only assume that they're not actually using casting. So we'll go. How far did we get? Listed up Beheading Dragon, and sometimes resource fish cannot be bred. That's fixed. Don't know how that's reopened. Is that it? And then the tier 4 module, which is a new one, which I also can't do. So basically the project ID just we have inside core again a CurseForge API key, so we can detect the version of the pack. So if you're not on Curse, you get that file not found error. If you are on Curse, it will tell you that the mod pack's on the correct version. Or if it has an update, it can detect that as well. And it comes up in chat something like, this mod pack has an update, click here, and then it sends a link. Yeah, there's no punishment for using it or not using it. It's literally just there. Yeah, I want to again, if I end up branching off some of the core stuff into like a mod pack specific mod, I probably will look at the update checker again. Because ideally, like in here, you just want to put the ID of the pack, and it would give you the name and it would give you the version, because you can get all that from the CurseForge API. Which doesn't matter if you're using Prism or anything like that, you can still get it from the API. Because the file still comes from there. It's just how it's stored on different launchers. Because inside the main file of a mod pack, there's like where Curse will generate, there's Minecraft instance.json, which tells you every single mod that's in it. All its IDs, its fingerprint, its everything. Creation date, authors for absolutely everything in the pack. But on other launchers, you don't have the same file. So stuff like that gets a bit tricky. So ideally, I'd want to do it all through the CurseForge API. But you still kind of have to rely on what the launcher saves, so you know what version of the game you're actually on. If that makes sense. A lot of mods on 1.21.11 now. Jumbo Furnace. Potential storage. So I think that's it. I don't think we want to do too much more in Submerged. But we need to get some ideas for endgame as well. I think we're probably going to call it there then, because I say I don't really want to do too much in Submerged because I'm mainly waiting to see what the end game's going to become. And I think on Monday we'll start something new as well. The real question is 1.21.11 or 1.21.1. But yeah, I think we'll call it F8. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your days. We should be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll do some mod dev. Probably some of the newer stuff. I want to get Closh fully working. It's basically there for 1.21.11, but there's still a few JEI things, and like the actual upgrades do nothing at the minute, so we do need to fix that. But apart from that, it's probably good enough to use. I think people are actually using it as well, which is mental. How many downloads? Yeah, look, 11 people playing it randomly for 1.21.11. To be fair, Core's getting a lot of downloads for newer versions as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.